Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Tia Haslam, and I would like to thank you for joining us in today's webinar. I would like to welcome you to our Never Stop Learning webinar series live session brought to you by CRM Dynamics. We are one of the largest Microsoft Gold partner in Canada, 2019 Microsoft Impact Award, and a member of Microsoft Global Inner Circle Partners for Business Application in 2019 and 2020. So before we begin our sessions, I would like to take you through some of the guidelines during our webcast. To ensure that everyone can listen to the presentation, we have muted all the lines, and if you would like to ask questions, please use the chat or question function on your control panel, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. In today's webinar, we will help you to stay on top of Microsoft Fall Release. We will discuss key updates from Microsoft D365 that is relevant to your day-to-day business operation for the following, such as marketing, sales, and customer service. Now, without further ado, I'm going to pass on the baton to our presenter, our practice lead, senior CRM consultant, Microsoft certified expert, Angelina Jacobs.
Thanks, Tia. Can you just do a quick confirmation you can hear me okay?
Confirm? Yes, I can. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. As mentioned, I'm going to be going over some of the new or improved features coming out with the Dynamics 365 2019 release Wave 2. Some of us still just call this the fall release, but just to keep in mind, the general availability can be between October of this year, so last month, to March of next year, 2020. Today's webinar differs a little bit from my usual ones, just because I won't be diving into any live demos this time, but hopefully you've got a cup of coffee, tea, water, and don't mind more of that kind of podcast feel for today. For those who don't know me, as Tia introduced, I am one of the consultants at CRM Dynamics. We're located in Mississauga, Ontario. As usual, feel free to reach out to me via email, as you can see on the screen here, or via LinkedIn. I get a lot of requests that way and messages, and I will do my best to respond if possible, or oftentimes I will forward you off to the right person to help with any questions you might have or information you're looking for. All right, let's start off with Dynamics 365 Marketing. It is a relatively new product compared to the others. So if you haven't looked into it much, I certainly suggest you do so. It's a great marketing automation solution with loads of features and more coming, of course, as we're discussing today. I think it's been out for about a year and a half, if I remember correctly. So compared to the sales and customer service we're used to in the CRM, it is a relatively new solution. The marketing app now has support for business units. So that's really beneficial to those large organizations that maybe have, various customer bases whose marketing data sets and campaigns are managed by those different business units. So just like your other Dynamics apps, like the sales and customer service, or again, that CRM as we're used to, it's the similar business unit security concept. So it allows you to do that split and manage security, access to contact data, lead data, as well as your campaigns by business unit. Email A/B testing is in, so for all you marketers, you can test out different email designs, and the system will select a few small test groups within your target segment. And then based on the analytics that come back, as well as the goals that you can input into the system, it will send out the winning design to the rest of the segment. So it's really neat automation and allows you to do that A/B testing and then see which one works better with your segments. Be sure to check out Microsoft Forms Pro. So if you haven't already, it's another product in the Microsoft platform. The marketing app will be able to send and use survey data from Forms Pro. So not just reports, but also having certain automations occur based on survey responses. So you can use Forms Pro to create those lovely surveys, send them out to your contact database, and based on certain responses or how they respond to certain ratings within the survey, your system can do certain things like further segmentation, lead scoring, whatever really that you're wanting to set happen based on those survey response. So it's a really cool tool, really good integration there. Last, but certainly not least, there are improvements constantly to the layout editor. So that makes it easier to design and modify content within the marketing app. The visual email designer, it's really easy to work with, and they've done improvements to it already. Makes it really quick for your marketers to alter and play around with the appearance of email messages. Certainly this list is not all inclusive. There's quite a bit coming out for each app that I'm going to be covering today. So I will share a link near the end so you can go check out more, as well as download the Release Wave Plan PDF from Microsoft. Okay, on to Dynamics 365 Sales. So most CRM users are familiar with the Sales app, and while it certainly has quite a bit coming out, I'm really, again, only going to focus on some of the few highlights here, or else I could be talking to you for hours today, but we want to keep it a little more short and sweet. So the first one, I will admit, is more exciting for consultants like me and administrators. So it's the ability to customize the opportunity close box. So you know when you're closing out an opportunity as won or lost, and you get a small pop-up window which asks for a few other details, like it autofills a close date, but you can change that, you know, revenue and other comments or competitor information. So administrators, can now further configure that. So you can add more pertinent information that might be captured from your organization. So it doesn't just have to be the standard out of the box one. You can now configure it with certain limitations, of course, but just as you would configure other entities within the system, you can now do that to that opportunity close box, which is really cool. Microsoft has also simplified the lead management experience. So there's a bit more that can be done with the lead sales process that we're used to. Some of those key items include auto-populating contacts and or company field in a lead. And this is if you select an existing lead or company that you link to. It does happen where incoming lead information, whether it's from websites, you know, uploaded from a list of conferences, you do often get information for contacts or companies you might already have in the system itself. So that just allows the system to help you out so you can be a little more efficient and productive when managing your leads. So again, it's auto-populating some of those contact and company related fields if you do link to an existing contact or company record. Also, when the notes and attachments that you capture in your lead, those can also transfer over to the opportunity when the lead is qualified. So any of those notes or activity pieces that have been part of the lead record will also then come into the opportunity record when you qualify that lead and the opportunity record's created. So that's very nice. You don't lose the visibility there, so you don't have to jump back and forth. Now, continuing to speak about the lead qualification process, we're all used to qualifying a lead, and then the system goes and creates an opportunity as well as a contact or company record, you know, depending on what data is captured. Going forward, your administrators will be able to set whether that is the default action that we're all used to out of the box, or the system can prompt you on which records you'd like to create. So here I have just a quick screenshot of what that looks like. You'll see here there's a little admin setting at the top where you set that qualify lead experience, and then below is that prompt that's displayed to the user when they do qualify the lead. So you can either have it that it just goes into the normal process where it does create the opportunity record as well as the account and contact, or in this screenshot here, you can select which ones to create. From experience, there are often times where clients would use this prompt because it doesn't always work with their sales process, that they need to create an opportunity and or the account contact. So it allows a little more flexibility in the configuration of the sales process. So it's very neat. One thing to note is this feature is available both in the unified interface and the classic web version. So depending which one you're on, you can still have this feature available to you. Having said that though, I do tell clients that unified interface really is the way to go. So if your organization isn't already using it, you should certainly start planning to. And Microsoft does have plans on how to move that over, and CRM Dynamics can certainly help with that too, just to make sure that nothing gets broken or everything looks the same and gives the same user experience when you switch that over. All new environments, though, that you would get from Microsoft are automatically on the new UI, but for anyone on that classic one, just note it's still being deprecated, so it's certainly something you want to plan for the future, or the near future, I should say. Okay, so business card scanning. I have actually been asked about this for years, it seems, so I'm quite glad that it's finally being put in place, even if it's a bit late. For all those salespeople who give and receive business cards, this makes data input much easier. So, when you're on the go, you're at conferences or other offsite events, you can use your device, and it can be a laptop, your cell phone, tablet, whether you're using the CRM app on your mobile phone or the web browser. You can upload an existing photo file or just use your camera to take a picture of the card, and the scanner analyzes it for the relevant information and then plugs it into your system. More often than not, the lead record. So here's just a quick snapshot of what that looks like. Obviously, this is on a mobile device, but it's a button where you can select a scan business card, takes a picture of it, and then it captures that and then plugs in the information it finds into the corresponding field. So, first name, last name, a job title, and more often than not, an email and a phone number. There is additional configuration too, because not all companies use the same fields necessarily, and they need to populate alternate ones, so that ability is in there. Now, counter to the last feature I mentioned, this is only available in Unified Interface. So again, it's kind of that push to make everyone look at getting onto the new UI if they're not already, because a lot of these features only work with the new, not the new, but the Unified Client Interface. So I've already talked about Unified Interface quite a bit now. I have demoed it in the past, so if it is something you're not familiar with, I do suggest please go ahead, check out our Learning Academy on our website, or go to our YouTube channel. That's where all our past webinars are uploaded, so you can certainly check that out. I did a live demo on it and talked a bit more about it, so you can see it. It's pretty cool. There are quite a bit more items that come in with the sales. Some of them are just improvements to current features in the platform, and there might be some new additions. I'm not going to be talking about any of the artificial intelligence pieces because there are sales insights, like the LinkedIn Navigator as well, and that will be next week's webinar. So I will dive more into that because it is something you'll see promoted from Microsoft, and when we're talking about the Wave 2. So we're going to finish with customer service today. For this wave, Microsoft has really focused on agent productivity, Omnichannel for customer service, and service insights. So how I was talking about sales insights, there are service insights, which I will talk about some of these items today, but then next week in part 2 is where I'll dive into those artificial intelligence and insights within the Dynamics 365 platform. So there are some improvements and additions to the knowledge management within the customer service app. This includes knowledge authors being able to author and more easily help drive and enable customers towards self-help. So creating professional articles to help that self-service adoption, and giving those authors, like the internal CRM users of these articles, improved inline image experience. So that's like being able to use copy paste, drag and drop, or upload images instead of sourcing from links, as is the current state. So that'll be for those who do use knowledge articles and have authors for that. You had to use a link to get to that external source, or sorry, that image. Now you can actually copy paste or drag and drop, so it's a lot easier for them. Adding on to this, the knowledge management search and rendering has been greatly enhanced. So this helps with both your internal users and your end customers. It's a better search experience as there's more filtering capabilities. So again, it kind of goes back to that self-help because customers are able, you can have customers access these knowledge articles, especially when they're in, if you're using service portals. So it's a great feature both for your internal CRM users and your end customers. Last, on the knowledge side of things, so knowledge article templates are available out of the box, as well as new ones can be created so authors can reuse and keep consistent branding, consistent language, and messaging. So there are some out of the box that you can get going with, just as a template itself, or to use for your internal or external users, or you can actually create from scratch and make it a template so that you can then reuse it for future uses and keep that consistent branding. Okay, so on to Omnichannel for customer service. Omnichannel contains quite a few items. If you do want to learn more about Omnichannel, I highly suggest looking it up, or you can certainly reach out to me for more information. It has quite a bit within it as an app itself. So I'm not going to cover too much of that, but as its name suggests, it's meant to allow your customer service agents to engage with customers across different channels, basically. So, long gone are the days where people could only call in or call in email to engage with your business. So along with customer identification, real-time notifications, and other integrated communication, this app supports your agent productivity with tools like knowledge-based integration, search, and of course, case creation and routing, which we're more often than not used to in the customer service app. One of the really cool features that should be generally available, I think December or January is the date Microsoft gave, is the integration with what's called Power Virtual Agents. So your chat and virtual agents will work seamlessly together. Incoming chat requests can route to a virtual agent, so not yet to a human agent, but can then also be escalated and passed to a human agent when needed. So it's a very seamless experience, both for the customer engaging it and for the agent, internal agent. So the human agent would get a full context as this transcript is passed to them from the virtual agent. So there's no disconnect there. Keeping with that chat concept, administrators can configure social channels like, let's just say Facebook Messenger, to engage with their customers. So it's just another chat avenue or channel, sorry. The customer, can be communicating from that other channel, like Facebook Messenger in this example, but the service agent, so within your organization, can use the same unified interface used by the chat tool to respond and then resolve their issues and so forth. What's nice about this too, from a customer standpoint, is when you have online chat, oftentimes, you have your chat session and then, they try and resolve those issues. If they can't, once the chat session is done, there's a follow-up required. With things like Facebook messaging, it's nice because the customer can kind of do it on their own time when they have it as is. So it's more of a, it allows for more time to be put in, especially to cater to the customer's schedule. So they don't have to be sitting, waiting online to have the back and forth. They can message, have something come back from organization, maybe the next day they get back onto that, and so forth. So it's just another channel for them, but also meets their schedule needs a bit better. To further support your agents and deliver that more consistent and positive customer experiences, you'll be able to configure scripts. So you can provide more step-by-step guidance and even automate them based on the type of session. So type of session being whether it's an incoming chat or phone call, you can have different agent scripts be popping up to support your customer service agent. This can certainly be very helpful for trainees and less experienced employees. We all know some of the seasoned ones, they barely even have to look at a script. They've either memorized it or they know enough, but especially when you're training new employees or there's some that might struggle with it a bit more, that agent script really helps with that step-by-step guidance, but also delivers a consistent message regardless of which agent the customer is talking to at any time. It's quite good. So that's it just for the specifics on what I wanted to highlight for the marketing, the sales, and the customer service app. I'm going to copy this link into the chat so you can all get to it very easily. And what it is it brings you to the landing page for Microsoft's release plan for Wave 2. And every release, so whether it's in the fall or spring, they have these landing pages, and what you can do is you can actually filter down into the app. So if you're only using sales, you probably only care about the sales updates right now, but you can start to look at the other apps because some of the features might be a great selling point for you to use that app. It is a lot of information, I'll admit. You can also download the PDF, which is maybe a little easier for you to read, or if you have a long flight for business, you can read it up on it. It does contain a lot of information just because it is talking about each of the apps, so across the whole Dynamics 365 platform. Very informative though, and it provides you with additional links of documents to further read up on some of the features. So if you're looking for information or have questions, it's certainly a great resource to use. So I'll copy that in. Feel free to bookmark it. You can certainly do a search for Dynamics 365 release plan and get the landing pages that way as well. Please do contact us. You have the sales@crmdynamics.com email, as well as my personal email. If you need more information, I'm happy to point you in the right direction because I know it's a lot of information. Microsoft is putting a lot of resources into Dynamics 365. So we really want to make sure that our customers and our prospects are aware of what's coming because there's going to be a lot of change in the next year even, but years to come as well. Okay, Tia, I'll pass it on to you. I know we have some questions coming in, so I'll just take some time to look at those, but thanks everyone. Really appreciate you attending today, and hopefully we will see you next week in our Part 2 webinar.
Great. Thank you so much, Angelina. So for all the participants, if there are any questions, feel free to type them into the question box for us, and we will do our best to answer them for you. As you do that, I would like again to inform you to learn more on other D365 subjects or register for future webinars. Please visit our website at crmdynamics.com/learning academy. Now that I could see a couple questions has come through. Question number 1, in your opinion, should I expect additional relevant D365 updates from Microsoft before the end of the year?
Okay, yes, so I mentioned it very briefly, but with this wave of updates coming, you're not going to get everything all at once. It is spanned between the months of October to March of next year. So each item included in the release plan will have different months that it's coming out. So some items, the general availability might be, it was October or November. There are a few things that were coming December, January, but then there's even some additional items that are marked for March 2020. And those dates can change a little bit. They already have in the last 2 months, I would say, but Microsoft does a great job of updating their resources to display that. So you'll be able to check out when it would actually be generally available. Having said that though, a lot of those items are in preview mode still. So if you do want to check them out, you can actually enable it or get the feature in a preview mode. And all that means is they're working through feedback for, if there's any minor bug fixes or additional comments from those using it. That's all the preview means, but it will then move into general availability to everyone.
Excellent. Thanks, Angelina. I have a second question on the business card scan feature in D365. Do you know if the feature have a functionality to connect with LinkedIn.
To connect with LinkedIn. So I assume that's trying to mean like if they scan it in, it would then be able to find that person on LinkedIn. Not that
Correct.
there would be a LinkedIn. Okay, you're well. Yes, now this probably depends on whether you have the the LinkedIn Sales Navigator enabled, because Microsoft already has an integration basically with LinkedIn. So that information could work together, because what happens is when you're using the business card scanner, you're taking information from that photo, the system's putting it into data or it's creating data in the system, so like your lead or contact, and that is the same information that's used by the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So it would technically be using that information, and it could probably pull in additional data based on that, right? If it does the same type of connection, just as you would if you manually type in a lead or contact with that information, it'll still go out to LinkedIn. It could gather more company information, could possibly gather more individual information as well using that. So it's not a direct link, I would say, but these are all tools then that are available within Dynamics 365 that work together.
Wow, that's amazing. So they work hand in hand together. So I don't have any additional questions coming in, but to that note, I wanted to thank everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thank you again, Angelina. I will be emailing out the recorded versions from today's webinar to all of our attendees. And again, we would like to encourage you, visit our website at crmdynamics.com or subscribe, like our YouTube channel, CRM Dynamics CA, to learn more about Microsoft D365 and any other relevant information. Thank you again for your participations, and have a Dynamics day. Take care.